If you ever try to learn ISO 27001, you already know the problem. You read the standard, you pay hundreds of dollars for a lead implementer course, you sit through 5 to 6 days of slides, you pass the exam, and then somebody hands you a real company and says, okay, implement it. That's when you freeze, because nothing you studied actually taught you how to do the work. So I built the thing I wish existed when I started. It's free, it's live, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what's inside. Welcome back to GRC Made Simple. If you are new here, I'm John. I built this channel and the GRC Practice Lab because I wanted to make GRC learning practical, hands-on, and easy to understand for people who are trying to break into this field. And the lab has already reached 4,600 active users, with learners using it to practice real GRC workflow, to build artifacts, to understand frameworks, and to prepare for interviews. My belief is simple. GRC should not be learned by just reading the frameworks or watching the slides. It should be learned by doing the work. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through one of the biggest addition to the lab, ISO 27001 Lead Implementer Practical Academy, a free hands-on course designed not just to understand ISO 27001 but to actually implement it. Okay, let's discuss the problem now. In this industry, no one will tell you this. Most of the ISO 27001 courses is built around one thing: passing an exam. You memorize clauses, you memorize Annex A control numbers, you memorize the difference between clause 4.2 and clause 4.3, you learn the terminology and pass the exam. On papers, everything looks good, but when you walk into a real role, your CISO will not ask you what clause 6.1.2 says. He says we lost $1 million in enterprise deals because we couldn't able to answer security questionnaire, and the customer wants ISO 27001 by Q3. What do we do first? This is a completely different question, and the standard will not answer it for you. The real skill of a lead implementer is not just knowing the standard, it is translating ISO language into business language, it is deciding the scope, it is understanding the context, it is building a risk register that actually works, it is writing a statement of applicability that serves the auditor. This is what this course teaches you, not just the what, the how. Now, the trick to learning implementation is this: you cannot learn it in the abstract. You need a company, you need pressure, you need to know the business context, and most importantly, you need to make decision. So the entire course is built around one scenario: CloudPay FinTech LLC. CloudPay is a 120% payment fintech based in New York. They are doing around $12 million in revenue. They run payment APIs, customer onboarding, KYC workflows, AWS production workloads, third-party vendors, and a SOC provider. Basically, the whole stack that you can expect in a growing fintech company. Now they have three real pressures which forces them towards ISO 27001. First, they lost $1 million in enterprise deal. Second, they are facing regulatory issues. And third, they are scaling fast. They grew from 50 to 120 employees in 24 months, and their informal security practices are starting to break. So everything that you do in this course, every module, every lab, every artifacts that you build is for CloudPay FinTech LLC. By the end, you will not just know ISO, but you can actually implement it for a company and build real outputs. Okay, let me show you how it is structured. The course has 5 phases, 26 modules, and it is sequential. Each module builds on the previous one, because that's how the real implementation works. You do not start with a random template. You move through the IMS journey step by step. Phase 1 is the foundation. Before you touch a single control, you need to know what information is, what an asset is, what the CIA triad actually means in the practice, and the difference between ISO 27001, ISO 27002, and Annex A. Because Most people get this wrong on day one. So I built a lab called Incident Triage Room where you will classify CloudPay incidents by CAA impact. This is not a multiple choice. This is real reasoning, and you will walk away with CAA impact register that you can explain it in an interview. Phase 2 is the ISMS foundation, which focuses on clause 4, context, interested parties, and scope. Most of the implementation die here because people skip it. They start with policies, but actually that's a very wrong move. Before you start writing policies, you need to understand the business. What does CloudPay do? Who are the interested parties? What do customer expect? What do regulator expect? What all the assets that are included, what are the assets that are excluded, and most importantly, why. In this phase, you will build a context register, map internal and external issues. Phase 3 is leadership and commitment, covering clause 5 and clause 6. This is where your ISMS gets a spine. You need to deal with leadership commitment, policy, roles and responsibilities, risk methodology, risk assessment, risk register, and risk treatment plan. There is an executive commitment stimulator where you need to convince the CEO to sponsor the ISMS. There is a risk methodology designer where you have to define your own scoring band and defend them. By the end of this phase, you will have a working risk register and risk treatment plan for CloudPay. Not a template you downloaded from Google, but something you built based on the business context. Phase 4 is support and operation, covering the clause 7 and 8. This is where the rubber meets the road. Competence, awareness, documented information, control implementation, operational planning, and evidence. All of this comes into play here. In this phase, the lab is SOA decision tree. You have to go through Annex A 93 controls and decide whether it's included, excluded, or deferred. You need to write justification. You need to connect it to scope, risk, business context, and evidence, because in real audit, the auditor will not ask you what all you selected, they'll ask you why. Phase 5 is evaluation and improvement, covering clauses 9 and 10. This is where you have to deal with internal audit, corrective actions, management review, certification readiness, because ISO 27001 is not about writing documents, it's about proving that your system works. Now here is the part I'm most proud of. Other than the modules and the lab, this course has 6 resource library that will support you throughout the implementation journey: glossary, war stories, templates, journal, Annex A map, and your privacy companion. Altogether, this will help you understand the language, learn from your mistakes, build documents, track your progress, understand controls, and connect it to ISO 27001, because this is where, other than a regular theory course, it makes the implementation practical. I'll be very honest why I built this course, because I have seen what real implementation looks like: the gaps, the audit panic, the policy frameworks nobody operates, the risk register nobody uses. So this is my attempt to make ISO 27001 practical. The whole course is free, no paywalls, no signups. You go to the link mentioned in the description, click ISO 27001 lead implementer and start building. If you are trying to break into GRC, this is the kind of portfolio that will help you get past the interview. If you like this video, hit a like, drop a comment, and subscribe, because here in GRC Made Simple, we make security easy, one concept at a time. Thank you for watching. See you until the next one.